Today we're going to talk a little bit about the Astronomer activity badge for the Cubs. As you can see, the requirements are listed here. But before we start, I'd like to mention that making a model, as it says in the first requirement, actually ticks off a number of different badges, including elements of the Chief Scouts Silver Award. Um, some of the ones that you can relate to this and tick off multiple different requirements in one night is that the Artist activity badge requires making a model. Additionally, if you're trying to make models out of wood, then the DIY badge can also come into play there. Additionally to that, if you take photos of the night sky as part of this, then the photographer badge can also apply there as well. There's a few others out there as well that are more difficult to link into this, but those are the main ones. I'd like to add as well that if you are interested in doing the Chief Scout Silver Award, which you should be doing, as that's the highest award for Cub Scouts, and you can wear it even on your Scout uniform once you move up the section, then things like the R Skills Challenge badge actually requires making a model as one of the creative challenges you can do. So it's certainly worth looking into to essentially do multiple of these different requirements in one shot with making a model. But for the requirements specifically today for this particular badge, we'll go through these now. Make a model or draw a simple diagram of the solar system. I'd like to advise perhaps that if you are running a night on this badge, is split the Cub Scouts into groups and have them each work on one part of the solar system and then bring them all together at the end to make a very big sort of combined model. You can do that with a number of different things, but papier-mâché is a very easy one. Number two, explain the difference between a planet and a star. Obviously, this is quite simple. Number three, learn how to observe the sun safely. That's there's ways online. The guidance changes on this every now and again, but there are ways you can build apparatus that helps you look at the sun without hurting your eyes. Pinhole boxes, for example, is one way that I know of doing that, although guidance may have changed on that. Find out and explain how the Earth moves around the sun. Obviously, this is quite simple and just important as it's not intuitive that the Earth moves around the sun to some people. Number four, observe the moon using binoculars or a telescope if you can. Describe some of its features. There's actually a way you can build rudimentary telescopes with lenses and cardboard boxes. Although obviously, if you ask around parents or around your group scout leader and things like that, chances are there'll be binoculars and telescopes that can be used. And observing the moon, some of its features are the various craters. The difference between the naked eye and being able to see some of the bigger craters and being able to see the smaller ones is the main difference to show off here. Number five, identify three constellations. If I'd give you some advice on this, it would be go for Orion's Belt and things like the Big Dipper, because those are ways you can find north, even the North Star, for example. But you can look up online about how those different constellations relate to north. And if you didn't know, one of the more difficult stage badges in scouting as a whole that stays with you until you're an adult is the Navigator stage badge. And one of the highest levels of that requires you to know how to find north even at nighttime and without a compass. So being able to pull that into their requirements now would be a very easy way for them to, in scouts, for example, when they're doing long hikes, immediately qualify for higher than they would do otherwise. So it's quite interesting to do that. And number six here, find about two space-related subjects and present some information about them. Planets, history of space exploration, and space activity, space technology. Really, that's quite simple. It could be any number of things. You can obviously do that with them, or that can be an activity they do at home and come back and present on. I would advise perhaps if you have the scouts divided into threes, you can give them resources on planets on one table, history of space exploration on another table, and space technology on another table, and then at the end come together and present what they learned on each. That'd be a good way of doing it. So just to summarize, there are ways that you can tick off multiple things with the model making here. You can help them tick off different parts of the navigator stage badge with the number 5. And ultimately these earn towards the Chief Scout Silver Award in the end, so it's very worth doing. I would advise looking at meteor shower sort of calendars and seeing if you can coincide with one of those, and try and get away from the hut if you can, and get away from civilization a bit so you can see the stars much better. That's everything. Thank you.